and welcome to the Fixit shed. I took my truck in for inspection and among other things it needs front brake pads and rotors. So they fixed everything else, but I'll take care of the brakes and rotors myself, and I thought I'd show you how I do it. So this is the master cylinder, and I want to open the cap just in case. You can see there's some space in there. It's not like full to the top, but when I compress the pistons and the calipers, it's going to push brake fluid back into the master cylinder. So I'm going to put a drip pan underneath it, and that way if it overflows, it'll spill out and drip into the drip pan. Okay, I got the truck jacked up and I got the wheel off, and I'm looking at, we got your caliper and your hanger here. If it's not part of this video, I have a feeling that a caliper replacement is going to be an upcoming video, because this is looking pretty crusty. So I'm going to put a little pry bar in here and try and make some space and compress the pistons a little bit to make sure that this is sliding on the pins easily, and it'll also make the caliper a little easier to get off. Oh, this is crunchy. Okay, so this is just pushing some fluid from some of the brake fluid out of the pistons and back up into the master cylinder. But yeah, and that moves pretty freely, so we're looking pretty good there. Now we need to get these two bolts out, which hold the caliper on the slide pins, and then we need to get these two bolts out. So first we're going to get the caliper off. 9/16. Now you want to have some kind of a hook to hang the caliper so that it's out of the way. You don't want to have it hanging on the hydraulic line. So there's that. Alright, I'm just going to put a hook there and there, and now it's hanging. Now we need to get these two bolts out. Okay, I'm using a 15mm 6-point socket and a breaker bar. Alright, now we can take this off. Maybe. Okay. And then this should come right off. Yeah, that was pretty bad. That surface has actually been greased, so that's in good shape. Alright, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Alright, let's get these brake pads out of the bracket. Finally. Okay. This is somewhat unfortunate because I did not get the new clips with my brake pads, so I have to reuse this, so I have to be careful. A little late for that. Alright, now I think it'll clean up, but gotta straighten it out. So it needs to look like that one. Okay, and then we need to clean out these grooves. So got a little file. Got a coarser file. Alright, that looks like all the rust is out of there. Okay, so we're going to pull this guy out and we're going to re-grease. I'm going to clean all of that junk off. Gonna spray a little brake cleaner on the rag. Sprayed a little brake cleaner on the rag and cleaning this off here. Okay, and then I got a little brake and caliper grease. And I'm gonna brush that on. Okay. And we're going to slide that back in. And we're going to do the same for the other side. Clean off some of the gunk here. Ugh. Okay, got that cleaned off. And then I'm gonna begin with the caliper, brake and caliper grease. Okay, and these slide nice. Good. Okay, so I cleaned these up as best as I could to reuse them. Primary part is right here where the brake pads are going to slide. That's what you want to be nice and clean and smooth. So, and now I'm going to put a little bit of grease again, the brake grease in here. It'll protect it from rusting as well as cut down on noise. Okay, pop this in. That's in, and that's in. Okay, that one's in place. Move this to the side. And now we're going to put a little bit of the brake leak grease on this part where the brake pads are going to slide. And put the brake pads in place. This part's ready to go. Okay, we need to compress these the pistons the rest of the way. You can use a big pair of pliers. I'm just going to use, a big C-clamp, and I'm going to put one of the old brake pads there, and I'm going to use that to compress it. Trying to do it this way so you can see. There, you can see that's compressing the piston back in. Whoops, all the way. There, that feels like it's all the way in. Again, we're going to throw a little brake grease on anything that touches the pads to keep noise down, deaden the vibration. And on this side, okay, that's ready to go. So now we got to put the new brake rotor on. Alright, I'm going to put the new rotor on kind of backwards, inside out. So these surfaces come coated with a bit of oil to keep them from rusting from the factory. So you're going to want to use some brake cleaner and clean them off. So, and then wipe it down with a towel. Alright, and I'm going to flip it over, do it to the other side. And I'm going to take it back off because I wanted to put more grease, some of the brake grease back in this area, and I forgot. Alright, now we can reinstall the rotor. Okay, and I've got a stack of washers here that I'm just going to throw on there. And put one lug nut on to hold it into place. I need to use the stack of washers because there's a cap on the lug nut, so if it'll bottom out on the stud if I don't put the washers on because there's no wheel there to take up the extra slack. So, and that's just going to hold it in place while I put the rest of it together. I'm going to put the bracket back on. Just like that. Alright, those are tightened down securely. You see how these have a flat side? Those have to line up. Right, those have to line up with this groove right here. So you have to make sure you have them turned the right way. Get rid of this hanger and make sure these are in snug. Okay. Now we can take this off. Okay. And that should be ready to go. Don't forget to put the cap back on the master cylinder. So the last thing you need to do is you need to get in the truck and you need to pump up the brakes. Because if you remember, we squeezed the pistons in the caliper and it pushed the brake fluid back into the master cylinder. So you need to pump up the brakes to get the pistons pumped back up so that they're ready for use. If you just get in and try and move, your brake pedal is going to go to the floor and you're not going to have any brakes. So you need to pump those up before you go anywhere. So if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Now I have to go and do the other side, so take care.